People who keep their circle small experience relationships very differently. While others collect connections, they choose depth, and they're not looking to expand. They have 3 close friends, maybe 4, and they're not looking for more. Their phone doesn't light up constantly. Their social calendar isn't packed, and they're not lonely. They're selective. And there's a psychology behind why some people would rather have 3 deep connections than 300 shallow ones. You know them. The person who doesn't collect friends, who's had the same close circle for years, sometimes decades, who doesn't feel the need to constantly meet new people, expand their network, or grow their social portfolio. They're not shy, not antisocial, not afraid of people. They're intentional. They'll go to the party, be warm and engaging, enjoy the conversation, but when it's over, they're not exchanging numbers, not following up, not adding you to their inner circle just because you had one good talk. Their friendship isn't easy to access, and that's by design, because they learned something most people discover too late: quantity dilutes quality. The world says more is better, more friends, more connections, more networks, but they've done the math differently. 3 people who know you completely versus 30 people who know you superficially, and they chose depth every single time. Some of them learned it the hard way. They used to have a big circle, lots of friends, a full contact list, and then something happened. Crisis, heartbreak, hard times, and they looked around to see who actually showed up. It was 3 people, maybe 4. The rest, like the good times, enjoyed the party version of them, but when it got real, when it got hard, when it required actual effort, they disappeared. That's when the circle got smaller, not out of bitterness, out of clarity. Others were always this way. Even as kids, they had 1 or 2 close friends, while everyone else had dozens. They'd rather spend 5 hours with one person who got them than 5 minutes with 20 people who didn't. They were never lonely, they were just selective, and some reached a breaking point. The exhaustion of maintaining shallow friendships, the birthday texts to people they barely knew, the surface-level conversations that went nowhere, the emotional labor of pretending they cared more than they did. That's when they started subtracting instead of adding. And the smaller their circle got, the lighter they felt. I used to think something was wrong with me. I'd see people with huge friend groups and think, why don't I want that? I had acquaintances, plenty of them, but I didn't want them closer, and I felt guilty about it. Then I realized something. Every friendship I had that actually mattered, where I could be completely myself, where I didn't have to perform, where silence was comfortable, I could count them on one hand. And those friendships, they were everything. The rest, they were nice, but they were also optional. So I stopped forcing it, stopped saying yes to hangouts I didn't want, stopped maintaining friendships out of obligation. And people noticed, you never reach out anymore. You're so distant now. But I wasn't distant. I was present, just not with them. I was present with the 3 people who made me feel known, who remembered the thing I said 6 months ago, who called when they knew I needed it without me having to ask. And that's when I stopped apologizing for having a small circle. Psychologists call this high selectivity, paired with depth-seeking attachment style. Not avoidant, not isolated, just intentional about where they invest emotional energy. Most people operate on a quantity model. More friends means more support, more fun, more social proof. And for them, that works. But people with small circles, they operate on a quality model. They have finite emotional bandwidth, and they protect it. They know that every relationship requires maintenance, attention, energy, care, and they'd rather give 100% to 3 people than 10% to 30. There's also something called friendship fatigue, the cognitive load of tracking who knows what about you, of adjusting your personality for different groups, of managing multiple versions of yourself across multiple friendships. People with small circles don't do that. They're the same person with everyone, because everyone is vetted. And here's what researchers found. People with smaller, tighter circles report higher life satisfaction and lower anxiety than those with large, loose networks, because they're not performing connection, they're living it. They'd rather have 1 friend who knows their deepest fear than 10 who know their favorite movie. But there's a cost to keeping your circle small. People think you're cold, standoffish, elitist. Why don't you want to be my friend? It's not personal, it's capacity. They assume you're lonely, that you need to get out more, that your life would be richer if you just opened up to more people. But you've tried that. And it wasn't richer, it was louder, more exhausting, more diluted. There's also the networking pressure, especially professionally. You need to expand your network. It's all about who you know. And they're not wrong, but people with small circles would rather be unknown than inauthentic. They're not building a network, they're building a family, and families don't scale. You also miss out on weak tie benefits. Acquaintances can open doors, offer opportunities, introduce you to new ideas, but people with small circles have decided those doors aren't worth the energy tax. They'd rather walk through fewer doors with people they trust than stumble through 1,000 with strangers. People with small circles are often misunderstood as unfriendly, closed off, or socially stunted. But here's what they actually are: deeply loyal. When they let you in, you're in for life. They don't do casual friendships, they do lifelong bonds. Emotionally available, because they're not spread thin across dozens of people. They can actually be present when it matters. Authentic. They don't adjust their personality for different audiences. What you see is what you get, because they don't have the energy to be multiple versions of themselves. Protected from drama. Smaller circles mean less gossip, fewer misunderstandings, less interpersonal complexity. And here's the strength most people overlook: they know who their people are. In a crisis, they don't have to wonder who will show up. They already know. It's the 3 people in their phone who actually pick up. That's not isolation, that's strategic intimacy. To be clear, this isn't about being closed off to everyone. It's not about being unfriendly or refusing to meet new people. People with small circles are often warm, kind, engaging. They just don't confuse warmth with intimacy. They can be friendly without offering friendship. They're open to new connections when they're genuine, when there's real alignment, when it's not just social collecting. But they don't let people in just because they're there. Proximity isn't enough. Shared experience isn't enough. Even liking each other isn't always enough. They need depth, potential, the capacity for real conversation, for showing up when it's inconvenient, for being known and still chosen. And some people don't want that level of intimacy. They want light, fun, casual, and that's okay. People with small circles just don't have room for casual anymore. They've learned that protecting their inner circle isn't selfish, it's necessary. There is a cost to keeping your circle small. You'll be misunderstood, called exclusive, told you're missing out on connections that could change your life. You'll feel pressure to expand, to network, to be more open, more available, more accessible. Some opportunities will pass you by because you weren't connected enough. But here's the gift: you know who your people are, not who they pretend to be, not who they are in good times, who they actually are when it costs them something to show up. You're not maintaining friendships out of guilt or obligation or fear of being alone. Every person in your circle is there because you chose them and they chose you, deliberately, repeatedly, and that creates a foundation that doesn't crack under pressure. You're not lonely, you're not missing anything, you're not closed off, you're just full with the people who matter. The psychology of people who keep their circle small isn't about fear or superiority. It's about recognizing that deep connection requires space, time, energy, and you can't give that to everyone. They're not collecting people, they're cultivating relationships. And in a world that confuses connection with accumulation, that's revolutionary. If you're one of them, you already know this. You've been told you need more friends, that your circle is too small, that you're too picky. But you're not too picky. You're exactly picky enough. Because the people in your circle, they're not just friends, they're home. And you don't need a bigger home, you need the right people in it. Do you keep your circle small? How many people are in your real inner circle, the ones who truly know you? Drop the number in the comments. Let's see how many of us are living this way. If this made you feel understood, hit subscribe. Quality over quantity here too. And if you've ever been told your circle is too small, leave a like. It's not too small, it's just right.